Let's talk about the greatest threats to America. But before we do that, let's look back a little bit, because there are some historical stories that I think about, like ones that stand out in my mind. Empires don't last forever. No matter how big and powerful they were. You know about the Assyrians. You, of course, have heard about them. Maybe you read about them in the Bible, or if your history teacher was worth anything, they taught you about this powerful civilization that ruled everything with an iron fist in their area for a while. And then there's this famous story, hundreds of years later. A Greek army was on the run. I won't go into the details. And they're in the middle of nowhere. That's what they thought, in the middle of nowhere. And they came across this gigantic city, walls and everything, only it was empty. It had been abandoned, an Assyrian city. And they just had to take it in that there was some ancient society so powerful and now gone. The Romans. When the Romans, during the third and final Punic War, when they conquered Carthage, and they were burning the city of Carthage, killing everybody and doing all those things, the Roman general leading that whole thing sat down and wept. Now, he didn't weep for the people of Carthage. He wept because there was this huge, gigantic, powerful empire, the Carthaginian Empire. Gigantic, unbelievably powerful. And he was watching the end of it, and he wrote it down. He knew that would come for Rome one day too. Societies don't last forever. Countries, empires, they do not last forever. We who are here now, we like to think it will. And when we look at our kids, I have 2 sons. Lord willing, one day they'll have children. We want to know that it'll be there, that America will be there for them, but that's not how life works. And we have a uniquely warped perspective of that here in America. And I don't say that because we're dumb. I say that because we've been number one forever. We've been top dog for the entirety of my life. There's been no question what the biggest, most powerful country on earth is. And when you are that, when you're America in the year 2025, when you're Rome in the year 100, when you're the Assyrian, when you are top dog at your given moment in history, you feel like the end of your empire will never, ever come, but it does. So what will get us in the end? Well, first, let's talk about immigration. There's really 3 things that are going to get us in the end. Immigration. No country of any size can stand up to the mass importation of foreigners. No country. Countries have tried throughout history, and they have failed every single time. It simply doesn't work. You have a country, the only point in being a country is because you have a cohesive society, an agreed upon culture, so you can't massively import other cultures and remain a country. You will eventually break up as a country internally. You already see this here in the United States of America. You will break up, there'll be a faction here and a tribe there, and you can't remain cohesive with 8 million cultures. Now, that brings us to what Democrats have done to us with the help of Republicans like James Lankford of Oklahoma. You see, Democrats, because their goal is not only power, but the eventual breakup of America. America sucks after all, it's evil. Their goal is to bring in as many people as possible. And I need to make sure I stress this because people on the right have such a hard time accepting that we're dealing with evil. They have a hard time accepting what I just said. Democrats didn't open up the border because they have some misguided compassion for immigrants. Right? That is, if you're on the right and a good person, that's the excuse you make for Democrats if you're trying to excuse the evil crap they just got done doing for 4 years. Well, I mean, they just opened up misguided. I actually saw someone today. They're misguided border policies. It's not misguided at all. You're misguided. They're very guided. They have a purpose in mind. Their goal is to massively import foreigners so they can remain in power. Foreigners will vote Democrat all the time. And that's one benefit. The other benefit is the crime foreigners will bring. When you massively import 20 million people in 4 years, you're going to have so many rapists and murderers there. And so they didn't just open up the border. It's not like they just opened up the door to the shop and then kind of walked away. All right, the shop's open. I'm gonna go out back and have a cig. No. They opened up the door to the shop, and then they put up a sign, said, everyone get in here and loot the place. And then they actually took it a step further. They went out into the town and grabbed as many people as they could and brought them to the shop. Democrats flew people into this country as fast as they could with your money. As fast as they could with your money. Democrats are so evil. They created an app so foreigners could schedule their invasion of your country. That's how evil the modern Democrat Party is. What are the results? Well, Rachel Morin was a mother of 5. She went out for a jog one day in Maryland. A barbarian attacked her, did not kill her right away, dragged her into the woods. Every woman's nightmare, right? Everyone I've ever talked to has this nightmare in the back of their head. Well, Rachel Morin lived it. Dragged this young mother into the woods, abused her in ways that I will not say here on the show, and then killed her. She did not die quickly. She did not die well. And Democrats brought those people into the country on purpose. This was Rachel Morin's mother.
Why are we not protecting the American citizens? It's just common sense. Why are we not protecting our children? And to have a senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge or barely acknowledge my daughter and the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandbaby without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone that's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren? I don't understand this.
She, of course, is referencing Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, who spent your taxpayer money instead of fighting for this country, actually got on a plane and videoed it. He was proud of this, got on a plane and flew down to El Salvador, attempting to grab and return to America a non-citizen gang member.
Well, I'm asking President Bukele to, I'm asking President Bukele, under his authority as president of El Salvador, to do the right thing and allow Mr. Abrego Garcia to walk out of a prison, a man who's charged with no crime, convicted of no crime, and who was illegally abducted from the United States.
I'm struggling to find the exact words I want to use for where this puts us as a country. Look, I'm going to talk about the debt really quickly, and I'm going to talk about the bureaucracy, but this is not just some random sociology major. We now have our highest up elected officials. They are committed to bringing in as many foreign barbarians as they can. And if we happen to get one out, they fly abroad to bring them back. I don't know where we're going from here. I don't know how we fix it. I really don't. And look, I haven't even gotten to the debt. Let's talk about the debt. This is the one that exasperates me the most, because this is not a partisan issue. There's actually no arguing what I'm about to say. You can argue time frames, but there's no arguing what I'm about to say. The debt situation in the United States of America will cause some form of dire fiscal collapse, not just for America, but frankly, for the entire globe, because when we collapsed, everyone around the globe will. And what I just said is 100% true. It will happen. And it's just simple math. You can't you can't pile up endless amounts of debt. That's not how it works. It's never worked that way. This was Jerome Powell.
U.S. federal debt is on an unsustainable path. It's not at an unsustainable level, and no one really knows how much further we can go. Other countries over time have gone much farther, but we're now, we're running very large deficits at full employment. And this is a situation that we very much need to address. Sooner or later we'll have to, and sooner is better than later. In terms of, if I can say from my time working on these issues, it's not the Fed's issue, but if you look at a pie chart of federal spending, the biggest parts and the parts that are growing are Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and now interest payments. And so that's really where the work has to be done. And those are issues that can only be touched on a bipartisan basis.
We can't sustain this. And everyone knows it. Not just you. I know you already know it. Everyone in Washington, D.C. knows it. All of them. I have asked every senator friend I have, every member of the House I know, I've asked them point blank. You've seen me ask them on this show. Does nobody care that this is going to end? And virtually every one of them has said, oh, they all know it's going to end. It's going to end bad. They're all just kind of hoping it ends after they're gone. That's how crazy this situation is. You can't do this. And the American people, by the way, they have no stomach for cuts either. These politicians, the reasons they don't cut, the American people don't ask for cuts. In fact, the American people demand you don't. If you even threaten to cut something, the people will run you out of office. You better not cut my benefits. Okay, well, we're all going to get a cut here at some point in time. But keep doing the same thing. And that brings me to, I don't know if it's the most evil portion of this because the immigration part's very, very evil, but the communist infiltration and weaponization of the United States government in ways recently that we have never, ever, ever seen before. I have never in my 43 years on this earth, and in fact, I know a bit about America's history, America's presidents. I have looked. I've never in the history of this country seen an American president speak this way to the American people.
Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
Our patience is wearing thin? There's impatience with us, Mr. President? For 4 years, we saw abuses by the government that I never thought I would see in this country in my life. Federal Bureau of Investigation going through school board meeting parking lots while mothers were inside angry about the demonic filth their children were learning in school. The Federal Bureau of Investigation was deployed against those mothers to jot down their license plates, open up files on them, and place them on a potential domestic terrorist list. That happened in this country. Donald Trump had his home raided by the FBI. In response to a Supreme Court ruling that made the communists angry, America's Department of Justice dug up an old, obscure law called the FACE Act and sent the FBI after pro-life activists across the country. We are in a very, very dangerous place. Trump or no Trump. And look, Pam Bondi keeps laying out all these threats.
We will find out who you are, and we will come after you. Domestic terrorists, foreign terrorists, you better look out because we're coming after you. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. You better watch out because we're coming after you. Let me be very clear. If you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
I hope so, Pam. Because if it doesn't, man, these people, when they get back in power, oh boy, all that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.